Disclaimer. Do you know a Beyblade design that as it evolved, Karatomi kind of did really dirty? It's Spriggan. Hello everyone, now before we continue with this video, make sure to check out mollabays.com. Not only do we still have quite a bit of burst stuff on the store, make sure to check it out, but we also have Beyblade X there. It's an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. And let's talk about probably one of the coolest designs from the original burst, Spriggan. So before we actually start with this, I just want to say, ignoring burst resistance or whatever, all that stuff, if we look at pure shape, I kind of want to go over out to Karatomi, kind of just did Spriggan absolutely awful as time has passed. So the original Spriggan I absolutely love because it's incredibly aggro. It's like two big axes basically slamming into you. And once we get to something like Storm Spriggan, you know, it still has, I would say, like a pretty good design actually for the blade, you know? So these kept this in mind, and where this gets even more based is once we actually get to Legend Spriggan. On ether rotation, it is pretty aggro and aggressive. So as we've established so far with Spriggan, Spriggan is pretty much now established as a very aggressive, balance type Beyblade. You know, I'm thinking, okay. So where they start to lose me, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever you like to be addressed as, is once we get to Spriggan Requiem. Because Spriggan Requiem is just basically almost a circle, and you really just use this for equalization. And where this becomes an issue is that now this influences the rest of the Spriggans going all the way till the end. For this, it is like, again, it's like the same issue as Requiem. You don't really get anything actually interesting. The animation can pretend that, oh, this blade will hit you, or this will hit you, you know, be crazy for attack, but no. You just use it for like stamina or equalization purposes. Then, you know, Lord Spriggan is a little bit interesting because even though it technically has the same use, it does have some other use like anti-attack. That's basically when you get this on an attack setup, and let's say I put this on like a rubber attack driver against attack, and it can do fairly well. Not that it is good for attack, it can just tank others' attacks and kind of hold on a little bit. Then after we get to World Spriggan, which World Spriggan will eventually get a video dedicated to it because it's cancer. It's literally just drift equalization, which I do believe I have done videos on covering. And now what they have now established, because in the past, how it basically worked is it's the same, you know, it's the same, you don't flip it, right? It goes this way, it goes that way, right? And this is where things like Legend Spriggan got really interesting, but you know, with Requiem, and even more, you know, But basically what another balance type they established, Master Diabolos, is that depending on what side you're on, it'll kind of be a little bit different, right? In the case of World, does anything really change between each of the sides? Nothing really to matter. It's at this point, it almost is basically evolved and degraded to almost like just circle. Now where they kind of had the right idea is Astral, because if you pay attention to Astral is pretty much your closest to Legend Spriggan type of shape, which is pretty cool. Where it becomes an issue is the right side of Astral, where because the blades are like this for the left side, they now have to curve weird. So instead of it being kind of like this, you know, pretty aggro, whatever, you kind of get this. And you know, Astral's not really too perfect of a design even for the left side, but you know, at least this was actually an interesting take that wasn't just, again, another circle, but, you know, it gets unfortunate. Now, well, once we kind of get to the end, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. It's kind of a similar thoughts towards not really Legend. It kind of gets close. It's a little bit more closer to the purpose that Lord basically had, where this would be used for anti-attack, or, you know, just general equalization, or even some stamina stuff. But, you know, I always kind of wish that Spriggan kind of kept the idea here. And what's actually interesting is that if you pay attention to some of the designs for Spriggans that come out after this point, you'll notice that they get pretty close to going back to the Legend shape. And then after, they just say, no, we're not doing that. And it's not really like, listen, whatever purpose they ended up having, that's basically their purpose. I'm just more of like, damn. Yeah, well, that's kind of it. I think Spriggan's still pretty freaking cool, man. I still think it's cool. I think my favorite one is probably... I think I really just like the original one design quite a bit. I mean, Storm is a pretty good design, all things considered. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Burst stuff. I might do more of these where I kind of talk about bays where I don't like how they implemented something to it. Like in the case of Spriggan, it's just that roundness. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, you know. If you were to redesign some of the Spriggans, you know, how would you design it, kind of, you know? And if maybe there's concept art, maybe you could say, well, actually, I like the concept art of number 3 of this Spriggan Evolution or something like that. I don't know, go to town, I guess. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and bye.